Welcome back to Hannity here with reaction to our opening monologue and the new developments in this massive corruption, Uranium One scandal. The author of now the best-selling book, Vengeance, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, you know, I know the Clintons have gotten away with an awful lot in their career. 20% of the foundational material for nuclear weapons. The media has ignored this. Meanwhile, they have had no evidence. Russia, 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 the danger of Vladimir Putin, the danger of Russia. What do you make of all this?
Well, I think we're on the edge of the greatest corruption scandal in American history. Bigger than the scandal in the 1920s about the Teapot Dome, bigger than Grant's presidency in the 1870s. I don't know of any occasion that had the scale of scandal, and you see it building. You watch Mueller, who I've been very critical of, but to his credit, he's now following the Podesta family into their relation with foreigners. He's beginning to follow other cases that are very different. I mean, you know, the great irony here, Sean, may be that the one person who comes out of this totally exonerated is Donald J. Trump, and that the people who did all the attacking, I mean, you have to ask yourself, think back to this. You're Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. It's election night. You've lost. You're John Podesta. You know that Podesta Associates has been doing work for the Russians and the Ukrainians. How do you have the chutzpah to decide that it's the Russians who elected Trump? I mean, why did they have no sense of vulnerability that once they opened this, it was just going to get sicker and sicker? And I'll tell you, just mark this for tonight. The breaking point will come when the Congress has the courage to demand that every donation to the Clinton Foundation be published, and we learn how tremendous the level of foreign influence buying was and how unbelievable it was and what a threat that is to the American democracy.
It seems that there could be no longer, now finally the House and finally the Senate, and I'm kind of assuming and interpreting from the Attorney General's comments that the investigation is here. But I think you're right in this sense. I think this has moved way beyond Trump-Russia collusion. Now, I don't like investigative creep. I've been very clear about it. I know that now it's about Paul Manafort's financial dealings from long before he was with Trump and the Podesta Group. But I can't think of a single circumstance ever to give 20% of uranium. Now that we follow the money, and now that we see Bill gets double his speaking fee, and he wanted to meet with the nuclear officials, and he met with Putin, and in his speech supported the Uranium One deal, and his wife had to sign off on this. And then all the Canadians that were involved in the deal kicked back $145 million of the foundation. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, this is a sellout of American national security.
Oh, yeah.
At the highest level.
Look, everything the average American has believed about corruption in Washington is about to be validated. Alan Guelzo, who is a great historian at Gettysburg College, wrote me recently that by the time this is all out, every other presidential scandal in American history will look trivial, that this is the most corrupt, the most unbelievably unlawful administration in American history. The Clintons are only a part of this. Wait till you get to Attorney General Lynch. Wait till you get to her predecessor. Wait till you get to Samantha Powers at the UN. This is just going to keep on rolling. And I think we're going to look back a year or two from now, and we're going to be stunned at the dishonesty and the bankruptcy of the Obama administration, of which the you know, if you will, the apex is the Clinton team. And I have a very simple challenge for the Congress. Get all of their donations on the record. When you go to the Canadian Clinton Foundation, which didn't have to report, very clever legal gimmick,
one last
but
thing,
wrong, you start taking these apart. It's horrendous.
Follow that, and also lift the NDA. and apparently there are tapes, there are emails. Let me just go through the mountain of evidence that they have. The FBI had in 2009 documents, emails, they have the financial records, they have eyewitnesses, and they had someone infiltrate.
Right.
And they knew crimes were being committed. They knew then. That raises questions about Mueller, too, but I've got a break. Stay right there. We're going to stay with you. We'll come back. When we come back...